Hello, everybody. May 28th, I gave you a full 60 seconds of Epidemic Sound instrumental, uninterrupted. If you got a good set of headphones or a good sound system, Epidemic is really a great instrumental for you to take a peek on YouTube Premium Music. YouTube, of course, has a bunch of music, and you can find Epidemic Sound instrumental in its portfolio of 15 or 20 million songs that it has. Everybody's got music, but I don't know anyone else that has Epidemic Sound instrumental. And they have a bunch of royalty-free music artists that produce music that's copyright-free and some is not, including Epidemic. They have instrumentals with some vocals and so forth that are not royalty-free or copyright-free, as they say. Anyway, so the one thing I want to make notice of is that every once in a while, Facebook Live drops out of off our broadcasts. It's just recently. Now, I can't tell whether it's a modem issue on my end, an internet issue overall, or something on their end. I've been with Facebook for a very long time. The handle is FAU for you, like FAU, like in the university, although this has nothing to do with the university other than the fact that I'm adjunct faculty at FAU in the Charles E. Schmidt College of Science. I have a letter from John Harlan, who's the director of something, I can't remember what. He took my adjunct faculty request to all the PhDs, department heads of the College of Science, and they voted unanimously to install me as a adjunct faculty. I met with some of them personally in Dr. Harlan's office. He selected the ones that normally participate in the meetings and ask questions and yada yada, and he figured the best way to head off any debate during the election process was for me to meet them personally in advance of their scheduled meeting. And so he set up appointments in his office in which I was there and showed him my book, my transcript book, I actually created a prototype of the book, so I had several of them, which I could show them that I was teaching, and continuing education for a number of years, and had a bunch of, you have to send out questionnaires. You personally hand out questionnaires to all the students. They fill out the questionnaires. They don't put names on them, so they're anonymous. One for each student, and they fill it out, and then they pass them back up to the front. I put them in the envelope, and then send them on to the head of continuing education, which was actually the wife of the chair of the dean of the College of Education. Yeah. Anyway, so I've retained copies of all those just for posterity. So Harlan, during my conversations with him, said, "Hey, do you happen to have copies of all your questionnaires from your student?" And I said, "Absolutely. I have several hundred of them." He said, "Well, may I make copies of all those?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he had one of his staff persons evaluate all those questionnaires and to, statistically analyze them and how many were, thought I did the class well, thought I did the class not so good, Did the faculty member understand the subject material? Did he adequately deliver, to the students? Whatever, I forget the questions, but they were generally very positive. I made sure they were very positive because I wanted to make sure everybody in the class fully understood what I was doing. And principles of digital photography and post-image processing. That was the name of the class. They went over very well. And it was 20 years ago, 19 years ago, 18 years ago, 17 years ago, when digital photography was pretty unique. And people were very interested on how to deal with the images. And could we edit them? Like you see in the magical TV shows, making things disappear and so forth. So, let me turn down epidemic just a little tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. So, why don't I add myself to the... Hello. Yeah. There I am. Yeah. There is a Jimmy Wilson somewhere. Yeah. I got all my little devices set up here. A little too much light. There we go. Turn down the light a little bit. We don't need to... we don't want to get sunburnt here with high intensity light. This microphone is the same microphone. Not the actual microphone, but the same microphone. Same manufacturer, Electro Voice. Series 300. That Rush Limbaugh used for his many years as a afternoon talk show. He had 25 million people on his podcast, whatever we call them. TV shows to the internet. This is a very miniature version of that. I don't have Schmedley, who interferes with answers the phone calls for me, that makes sure the wackos aren't too wacko, Yeah, no Schmedley here. I have to answer my own phone calls. But you can text message me. Phone number's up on the top there. And that's streaming as it goes across. Yeah, as it goes across. Yeah, the screen from downtown Boca Raton. 561-416-1100. Be there or be square. There you go. Here's the number. You can see it going across the top of the screen. 561-416-1100. It's my phone number for a long time. I have a website, 416-1100 simulcast.com as a website. How about that? Same as the phone number. Not a dot. 416-1100.com. In which I have a website that has had over 26 million visitors over a number of years. Totally unadvertised. Swap cameras. There you go. Yeah. 26 million visitors. There's like 36 categories of here we go. We see them right there. Health and wellness creates great images. There's my logo right there. You've seen that. Here it is. Oop. There's the logo. Yeah, it's sitting on top. This is a microphone thing. You slide it on the microphone so when you're doing interviews, they can see your logo. Yeah, there it is. Right there. Yeah. It's lit up by the buttons here. Yeah, whoops. How come we can't hear that? Crickets. We hear crickets. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's my musical background there. There you go. There's Jay Leno and Marilyn. He looks very interested, doesn't he? Yes, sir. I trapped him at the 14th annual concourse de Elegance in Boca Raton, the hangar party. It was early in the evening on February 7th of 2020 when Jay Leno visited. He was the keynote speaker. They have a Saturday evening dinner of all the people that pay $275 a ticket. And then on Sunday, so you have the hangar party, which you can see right here. There you go. Boys and girls clubs. Yeah. You have all these exotic cars. We've got airplanes. Alfa Romeo, Fiat. Zucker and Lewis was the media group that handled, all the media and people like me, the press, sports car marketer. This is a magazine that's, you see, there's Jay Leno. Oops, no, we can't expand on that. Tom Allen and Jay Leno, I guess they both had, Tom Allen was probably the warm-up guy, and then Jay Leno was a keynote speaker. He would spend the evening with a couple of hours worth of jokes. And yeah, he's a funny guy. There you go. This is a copy of the book of 2018. That was the 12th annual. Yeah. Anyway, there's the 13th annual. Yeah. Day 1, day 2, day 3. 175 of the finest car collectors in the known. Hi, Jim. We will add you and Marilyn to the media list. You are attending Friday the hangar party and Sunday the concours de elegance. Please let me know when you can be added to the proper list. We will add you. From Valerie Zucker. And they're not doing it anymore, Jim Lusk. Yeah. Anyway. But I I got to copy that letter. There's... That's a selfie. Well, so funny. There he is. I took a picture with my super duper camera, and that's a selfie picture. We're all bent in to cover ourselves around Jay Leno. Yeah. Day 1, day 2, day. Anyway, bingo. So, each one of these pictures is a button which will take you right to, like in the middle there with that little girl with the white sweater, turtleneck sweater kind of thing. That's a button. See the bowl of apples in the background? Let me touch her face. There we go. Bingo. FAU Literacy and Education. February 2004. Oh my God. That's 21 years ago. You know, she's probably married and has 4 children. And then FAU College of Business and Promotions brochure, October 2006. I have a big one behind me. Yeah. And here's the College of Business Promotions images. There you go. 2007, 2009. There's Schnellenberger at the ribbon cutting of the FAU Stadium in Boca Raton. He gave a speech standing up on a little platform thing. Of course, I take pictures of everything. And fireworks. So you got all kinds of things here. That's very interesting. Yep. Let me go. There we go. There's that famous teepee picture in Milwaukee, Wisconsin I took. And there's Maryland Executive Portfolios. That's my wife of 45 years. I married her when she was 10 years old. No one can guess our ages correctly. They're either very polite, but they underestimate our age by 10 to 14 years, oddly enough. I don't know why that is. I don't find myself well preserved. I think they're just being nice to me. I'm an old fart. Yes, sirree. Here's the 26 million. There you go. I wasn't kidding. 26,422,893. That's up about 50 from yesterday. From all over the world, as you see the world. See, 893. Now watch. I'll restart the page. And I'll go down to the bottom again. I didn't expand earlier. It was 893, right? Now it's 894. It counts. Yes, it does. It doesn't go backwards. It only goes, it's like time itself. It only goes forward. One click at a time. Yeah, I put that counter on there a long time ago. And, let's see. Here's a brief bio of myself, just in case you're wondering who the hell I am. Principal licensed broker, engaged in the design, development, property management of major real estate projects in South Florida and Tampa area and so forth. And one of my notable projects was Joe Robbie Stadium. Yes, I had to sign off on that puppy, and that was a $150 million deal done 1983. Can you believe it? That's when that sucker was built. It was $115 million construction loan, which we kept, I think, 20 million of, and we participated out $95 million to 4 other banks, or 4 or 5 other banks. Yeah. And that's called a loan participation. Instead of taking $115 million bite and have, that much risk in one loan, we took a piece. We took a piece of it. We originated it. We funded it. We inspected it. 75-seat stadium surrounded by 24,000 car parking. It included an exit on a couple of major roads. Yeah, exit ramps and all that. Oh boy. And that was a mess. But we did it all. It funded completely on time. It was built. It delivered early. The CO was a pain in the butt because you had COs for this and COs. It was a bureaucratic monster as far as getting all the COs. But we got it. We got it done. It took about 2 years. Yep, on a 140-acre site in northwest Dade County. The stadium hosted 5 Super Bowls, if you remember. It's still there, and it's been improved and improved. Every time there's a Super Bowl there, it gets further improved, with the, yeah. Anyway, 416-1100.com. Be there or be square. Just wanted to show you that. And let's see. Let's go back to my photo thing. I want to show you this. This is a unique. Let's start right here. This is real stuff. I saw this morning in the publications around the world. Look at this. This dropped out of the sky and landed in Colombia. A round metal object the size of a basketball was seen in the skies over the town in western Colombia on March 2nd. April, May. A couple of months later. And it's a round metal sphere. They didn't cut it open, but they x-rayed it. And they've been conducting research on this thing. There it is. There they are. They're measuring this and that and writing stuff down. They have it on a scale. They're weighing it. They've we don't know what kind of metal it is. It's not a metal. In the periodic table of our metals, so it's some kind of it's unknown metal. That's always curious. Being a chemist, I was trained as a chemist. In case you forgot, I'll give you the credit of forgetting. Maybe you never knew. There we go. Let's adjust the color. We're doing a little image editing while we're live on TV here. That's a little better. Got a little of the blue out of there, but there's a scientist. He's looking. He's got gloves on. There's this guy with his hands all over it, right? Size of a basketball. Oh my God. Yeah, there's Butchagaloop. He's got it. Yeah. And they're measuring and testing. Yeah, here's the guy that found it. Yeah. He doesn't have gloves on. No, of course not. We can turn that into a color picture, but let's see. Let's find. I have an app for that. Ooh. I'm looking at my icons here. Well, let's try this. C-O-L-O. Color. Colorize. Color eyes. Let's see. Open the special gift. Oh, 50% off. No. Extended membership. Where's my free trial? No free trial period. Let's see. I want to scan an image, and I'm going to import something. Yeah, here's Butcher Globe. There we go. See, there we go. Let's do that. Yeah, save it. Yeah. Now I want to share it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. We want to save to photos. It's always one of these. Save to this device. Saved. All right, let's go get it. Now you're in my world. Okay, let's photos. Let's go here. There it is. So now we have a color photo. How about that? Pretty interesting, huh? I'm going to lift up on that and see about the. Yeah, no location information on that. No, it probably got stripped out because of the. Anyway, that's more interesting than this old than that one. Right? There's that one. And there's that one. So he's got a tie-dye shirt on. Yeah, his arms look skin color. He's got this oblique, this interesting, huh? With all this kind of writing on it. Looks like Star Trek. Remember Star Trek? They'd have those writings on the walls, and they'd meet these. Look at that. Interesting signs. These kinds of symbols and writing around that perfectly round object. It was floating around the skies of Columbia. They were watching it, and then it came out of the sky and landed. You'll see it. Let's see somewhere. Where is it? In the woods. I have a picture of it in the woods. Where's that picture? Here it is. You see it right there too? I mean, I was going to say only in America. This is in Colombia. Yeah, see it right there. Let's use my pen, and we'll use a yellow marker. No, that's too skinny. Let's go bold. There we go. That'll make it obvious where that ball is. Done. There we go. Now we know right where that thing is. How about that for a little fast. There we go. Let's do the same. Leave that one alone. There it is. I think that is extremely interesting. And look at the writing all the way around. These symbols mean something. Now that's something for AI to figure out. You see all these I don't know what those are. Those arches with a circle in the middle, and it's all the way around, and then it has these little artistic things. And there's a thing in the middle, and all these, things spreading out. Like they distributed these balls all over the universe. And of course, one showed up here. After UFO with ominous writings, the origin birth is found. Scientists break their silence. So apparently they've had this, for a while. And now they're finally showing it to everybody. I think that's super interesting. And a round metal object was discovered in Colombia. Could be a UFO, scientists say. It's hardly that farmer could figure out how to etch a metal that is not on our Earth. Where'd that metal come from? It fell from the sky in March, or landed. Whatever way you want to, the internet has been debating its authenticity. The U.S. government has admitted that they've been conducting research on UAPs for years. They decided to call UFOs UAPs. Unidentified aerial something. Previous cases of alien findings have been called hoaxes. Of course, this is a hoax. No, the scientists are... The thing that makes this not a hoax is I don't think this Colombian guy has the wherewithal to etch this metal in such a way, and the metal is not a known metal or alloy of this planet. How about that? For starters, you take a little tiny sample of that and you put it through, a mass spectrometer, which would identify all the elements, and you come up with, this is not known to our periodic table. That's a clue. That when you take a little piece of that, a little filing off the sides or something, you just need a little tiny piece of it, and you put it in a vial, and you put it in a mass spectrometer and turn it on, and after 20 minutes it prints out results, and it says no known metallic in our periodic table. That's a signal that, oops, don't think said Colombian had anything to do with this other than finding it in the woods. Yeah, nice. So we can do that, and we'll just, we got the yellow pen, No, we don't want to do that. There we go. We'll put an arrow in this picture. There we go. Done. Done. There we go. So now we can see where that is. After his team x-rayed the object, they found that it was made up of 3 metal layers of metal with 9 additional mini microspheres inside of it. That's curious. The New York Post said researchers in Colombia used AI to decipher mysterious symbols that were etched into the sides of the spheres. According to the Post, the writing says, the origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness. That's what the writings say. Ooh, they used AI. And you can see that's all in quotes. Jeez. Ooh, that's kind of heavy stuff, huh? They used artificial intelligence to decipher the mysterious symbols. You can read that a couple of times and, wear yourself out. Right there. Oops, I don't want to expand it beyond your reading point. There you go. It's what's written around the edges there. Phew. Now that's curious. What is it doing here? Why is it here? It traveled from where? Where did you come from? How about that? Yeah, there we are. Scientists are trying to figure it out. They're measuring and writing reports. Here's the guy. Give you an idea of its size. Looks like the size of a basketball. Yep. But the clue is that the metal is not of a known origin on this planet. So that's our keynote address of this little broadcast. All right, here's another topic. How do you know? This has nothing to do with the previous statement. All right, sometimes you'll get a website that looks unfamiliar. My suggestions to Marilyn are, let's do it that way, my family members, my adult children, all 4 of them, is look for irregularities in the URL. Watch for bad grammar. I see that often. In other words, if they're sending you something and it's from, a 14-year-old, in his basement in China, for example, and he happens to internationally send a URL to you and ask you to open it, don't open anything that is unfamiliar to you. Don't click on it. For God's sakes, do not click on it. delete it. Period. Don't be inquisitive and say, where'd this come from? If it's not familiar to you, because if you click on it, that sends a signal to whoever sent it to you, and clicking on it may start an applet that's associated with that URL. And you think you're just clicking on it and opening it, whatever the clicking does, and it starts something that starts copying all your keystrokes, or copying, it goes to passwords and, starts to copy all your passwords, or how to log into your bank accounts that are near to you, because it may begin the, beginning of a terror in your life, It's like losing your wallet times 10. Because not only did you lose your wallet, but all of a sudden all your bank accounts are at zero. And the money's gone. It's just gone. You call your bank, say, where'd the money go? Bank says, what money? Your bank account says zero. Oh, well, you transferred money to... No, I didn't. Well, yes, you did. No, you didn't. Yes, you didn't. Then you got to file a report. And, 2 months later, you're still trying to get your money back. Don't click on anything that's not familiar to you. It's as simple as that. One clue is like bad grammar, because sometimes they try to, write paragraphs, and they write it in their native language, and then they use some kind of a translator, algorithm, and it doesn't translate, as exactly as, you would if you wrote it out in English to begin with. So it obviously came from a foreign country, and it has bad grammar, used an odd choice of words, unrealistic choice of words. Be aware of unrealistic deals. Ever heard of too good to be true? It's probably the fact that it is too good to be true. So don't do it. Don't contact. Don't do anything. Don't click it. Just erase it. You can't take the chance of clicking on it. Period. I don't care if it's on an iPhone or on your MacBook or your Windows. Oh my God, they're full of these things all the time. Because 80% of the world's PCs are Windows computers. All kinds of different computers using the Windows operating system. That's the common link to all these different kinds of computers manufactured all over the planet. And that's what the magic of Windows is that you can buy all these different kinds of computers, not Macs. And the Windows operating system works on all of them because they have all these little applets that, attach itself inside the computers, and it has, these features so that almost no matter what kind of a computer you buy and Windows is installed on it, like Hewlett-Packard is a Windows, operating system computer. And I have one. I don't know where it is, actually. It's somewhere packed away. It's in a carton somewhere. I used it when I taught at FAU. I haven't taught there for a few years. But when I did teach at FAU, principles of digital photography, the reason why I got that Hewlett-Packard computer is because it had like 19 ports, on the left side of it. So I could plug in to the overhead projectors in the classrooms at FAU. So I wanted to make sure I had a port that worked with the overhead projectors and that were built into the ceiling and all that kind of stuff, which flashed onto a screen in the front of the classroom. And it did, plugged right in. It'd match up, so I'd teach out of the, I do my digital. I had, Photoshop Express loaded onto that Windows Hewlett-Packard computer, and used it for, like 15 years. And the same projector, same plug, same wire. I'd walk in there and there'd be the wire, and I'd just plug right in and I'd be ready to go. I'd get there half hour early and get all my stuff set up and make sure the room is all cleaned up. And I put my signs in the hallways and in the elevators indicating, you hear that? They have declared an emergency in our laboratory here. I'm closed off from that. You can't hear that much. So anyway, scammers often try to imitate legitimate websites, and you can, if you look at the URL and you see some of the graphics, you might see that it doesn't match up. The graphics is, odd. Irregular shapes, irregularities in the URL, strange URLs. Like Amazon, looking like that. They just didn't do it right. They try to like PayPal.support instead of PayPal.com. And then they use, they'll grab a logo from PayPal and it looks all like PayPal. And you have an account with PayPal, don't click it. Yeah, there's an emergency going on in our building. We'll ignore that. It's 10:02. I have housekeepers coming at 11, so that's hopefully in the next 20 minutes that'll stop. Scammers constantly set traps. My cat is... There you go. Where are you? My boy cat gets... There you go. There you go. You hear the meow. Oh, he just gets very upset when the alarm goes off. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. The buzzing bothers his ears. And it's scary for him. Oh, yeah, there we go. Don't jump up here. No, don't jump up here. Remember, we're out for coffee together. Oops, no, don't climb. No, don't. Don't jump up here. No. No. Oh boy, we're getting invaded by the cats. All right, last night at, 7:30, SpaceX launched. Let's see, did I capture any pictures of that? I think I did. Yeah. This is T-minus 58 minutes. Flight 9. Yeah, there it is. Boca Chica, Texas. they're building one of these in, let's erase that. Might as well erase that one. There we go. You can see Elon Musk there. He's at one of the control stations talking with one of the engineers. He's a happy warrior. There he is. He's sitting right in there. He's, hey, this is a big deal for him because he's got. Oh my God! Look at this. This is the real thing. Last night, 7:36 p.m. That is a 40-story office building launched, and the mission went very well. You wouldn't know it with the media. Look at this, 36 Raptor engines. Look at them all. Let's see, 20, and then there's 10 and 3. So that's the 33 Raptor engines. They're all firing at the same time. They all have like 280,000 pounds of thrust. So it's like, there you go, there's all the engines lit up. And you can see them, from the incredible telescopic photography. They put a mask on there so you can actually see it. This is a different kind of a view. That's one of the fins. Yeah, this is from the spacecraft looking backwards. You see this, the trail of the burning, the afterburner waste. Yeah. So this is, this is so many hundreds of thousands of feet up, and then it goes over again. Yeah, I'm going to switch over to this. I broke it up into 2 pieces because I didn't want to have one huge file. I broke it up into 2 files. So this is, again, we're looking aft, looking down to the back end of the thing, and the rockets are blaring. It's just that when you get up in serious high space, they're getting ready to separate. Stage separation, you can see and then it'll separate. Right about now it should be separating, and then you'll see the engines go up on the left. There you go, engine separation. And it separates successfully. There you go. And there's the booster flipping around for its return. And then you got the boost back burn. That functioned properly. And then this is stage 2, I guess. And the engines are, properly working. You can see all 6 engines over on the right. Oh, don't jump, cat. The altitude is 68 kilometers. The other, you can see the booster going through its process, returning to Earth. You got 2 things happening at once there. 2 sets of engineers. See? And then over on the right side, whoops, you can, whoops. Oh boy. Cat is up on this. Damn it. Okay. There we go. Just stay there. You're fine if you just stay there. Don't come over here. Yeah. have animal control here. The poor cat is scared with the alarm that goes off. Oh my God. And then when the cleaning ladies come, he goes completely, I just turn off everything. And the alarm is a new problem. Yeah. All right, now we're focusing on the engines of the stage 2, and they're burning right, properly. Oh, this is just a replay. Yeah. Good morning. So that was... Anyway, so stage 2 didn't complete all its... It got into near orbit, which wasn't supposed to get past near orbit. It wasn't supposed to go into orbit. But it was supposed to... they had some blank satellites that he's been sending up for his Starlink. No, you can't come up here. Just get back down. There you go. So, the cat gave up. I saw a Cybertruck in our street below. Put that on 5x zoom. Zoomed in on the star. Tesla-tion. I'll have to... Tesla-ton. It looks like there's an I there. Yeah. I've seen that there before. I don't know what that means, but it parks there and then it goes across the street. Maybe for lunch at... yeah. There's a picture from our balcony looking out. That's the Atlantic Ocean. We are exactly 1 mile from the Atlantic Ocean. Just far enough so in case there's a tsunami. I don't think it's a mile away. It's going to be 80 feet tall or 100 feet tall because we're on the 8th level of this building, which is about 100 feet elevation, above sea level. There's my favorite condo building. Yeah. Right here, Royal Palm Place. Yeah, that's Palmetto Place. Nice. It's one of the nicest looking exteriors for a building. It's multicolored. You can see there's different shade of this parapet looking thing. Yeah. There's the barrier of the balconies. You can see right there. Guys, nice furnishings. We tried to rent a place in there. Couldn't quite. Something on the 4th floor. There's the new... This is the... iPhone has issued... what do you call it? Computer-aided design schematics. So that people that manufacture cases for the phones have the actual dimensions, to the 100th of a millimeter, so that they can build their cases for the September release of the new iPhone. So that is the back of the new iPhone, as opposed to this. You see that camera module only encompasses that little square portion. Now it's going to be stretched out across the entire back of the phone. And they've moved the flash over, and this is that other dot right there is the LiDAR. It's a light-emitting radar for spatial recognition and measuring dimensions. There's a lot of stuff going on inside the iPhone. The iPhone is the most unbelievable portable computer in the history of mankind, and it also takes phone calls. It is, they call it an iPhone, but realistically, the phone part of it is the minor part of it. Although, I have a phone number, 416-1100, 561-416-1100. It's a phone number. I make calls occasionally on it. My doctor calls me. I call my doctor, whatever. I'm probably I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I have to look through my messages because I probably have a message from Strasser's office. I better call them and let them know I am coming in tomorrow. I have a surgery appointment tomorrow, the 29th, at I believe 9:30. Anyway, so this is the design of the back of the phone. So case makers can, they can see where the buttons are on the side, and they know the new design of the back, where the 3 cameras are. The 3 cameras, a normal lens, a wide-angle lens, and this middle one is a telephoto lens. Each lens focuses onto an imager. And these 2 cameras right here, the 2 that are straight up and down, these 2 right here, right here, these 2, don't come through. I got a cat coming through. No, there's no room for you. This sweet little, all right, come on through, come on. Yeah, I know. Poor guy gets very nervous when the alarm goes off. Now I don't have a squirter. Yeah. He's starting to push my stuff around. Yeah. I'm gonna squirt you. Yes, I am. There's nothing in there to squirt. Hey, stop. Stop. Little bugger. He's getting very aggressive because I wouldn't let him come through here. I better put this rubber mat on top of have a trackpad. All right, come on. Hey, psst, go on through here. You can walk through. Come on. Yes. Yeah, you're a good boy. He'll come through. Come on, kitty cat. Let's go. Come on. There's a spot for you. Yeah, come on. Come on. Takes about 4 seconds for them to process that. Anyway, getting back to the 4 cameras. Behind each lens is an imager. And behind these 2 lenses right here is 45 million pixel imagers each. Each camera has its own imager, 45 million pixels. This one here, this one is 12 million pixels. But this new camera that comes out, this new iPhone, all 3 cameras will have separate 45 million pixel imagers. So this 5x zoom lens will now be associated with a 45 million pixel imager, which that's worth the trade up. They always come up with something that hooks me for. We have this AT&T account that allows us to trade phones every year, and you can turn in. They send you a new phone at whatever specifications you call, and then within 2 weeks you have to send back the other phone, and it'll be essentially no charge. You pay installments on the phone. They take the price of the phone and they divide it by 36, and you pay 1/36 each month as an installment payment under a contract, which you sign electronically. Okay? But the next year, or at least, you have to let it go 12 months. Then the next year, like in September, when the new phone comes out, if you want the new phone, AT&T says, we'll cancel the old contract and we'll just divide the new phone, the cost of the new phone, divided by 36, and you pay 1/36. No interest charge. And every year we trade in our phones for new phones. And you pay one. So it's like phone rental. Yeah, that's what I call it. It's like phone rental. You pay, you pay 1/36, so it's like a 36. It's like a $40 payment you make on the phone. And you have to pay and the first, when you do this, sign up for this in September, you got to pay the sales tax up front. So it's like $120 or something to get the new phone, because you got to pay 1/36 plus 7% or 6.5% of the whole sales tax, which is like $85. No, $85 plus $45, $130, something like that. And you get a new phone. And this year it'll be super worth it, because in addition to all the other upgrades and enhancements that are which I'll go over, there's a worldwide developers conference coming up June 12th or something like that, and they'll go into some of the enhancements. There'll be a lot of artificial intelligence features that will come through, with particular triggers that are activated within the iPhone itself, because they'll try to, it'll be Apple intelligence instead of artificial intelligence. They'll try to brand it, in their own Apple way, which is fine, They do a good job at branding things. All right, I guess the cat's not coming through. You can see me over here. There you go. Yeah, the buddy cat's right over there. It sounds like the alarm has stopped. So the cats are not agitated with that. It's very loud. No, it is still screaming, but I guess I don't smell smoke, so there's a lot of action on the second floor is our commercial tenants. Plus we have Chops downstairs, which is a restaurant. So they have stoves and things. And if something gets too hot or too smoky when they're cleaning or cooking, it sets off the smoke alarm, and then the whole building gets, exercised. We have Chops on one side and lemongrass on the other corner of the building. So, when they clean their stuff, they get pots or pans super hot and they spray oil on it and this and that. And if it gets a little out of hand, it can create excess smoke and set off the alarm. And of course, everyone has to run around downstairs figuring out, what the problem is. And they have to go through everything to find out what the problem is. And it's usually on the first or second floor. The second floor, you have a bunch of commercial tenants, like law firms or mortgage bankers or whatever. And sometimes they leave the coffee pot on. And, then the coffee burns or whatever, sets up smoke in the, so sometimes there's kitchen things in the, in commercial spaces that set off the alarms. It's usually smoke from the kitchens on the first floor. And we got one on one end, one on the other end. It's a oblong rectangular building, a rectangular building. And so hopefully that'll be over with. I'm gonna be over with, thinking of over with, because I've run out of things to talk about. There's Jimmy and son Daniel. He's a bit taller than I am, as you can tell. He's like 6'4", and I'm somewhat less than that. Yeah. There's Marilyn, Jimmy, and Daniel. Memorial Day. Brennan is sick. He's home, not feeling well. Diverticulitis. Taking antibiotics and resting comfortably. You can see the hotel in the background there. He arranged he worked at the Boca Hotel Daniel did, for 7 years of his early life. Yeah. We were married at the Boca Hotel 45 years ago. Can you imagine? Lucky me. She's an angel. Yeah. She made these marvelous deviled eggs. Yeah. And a couple of them had jalapenos on them. Ooh, and this marvelous strawberry and, all those nice little, with a drizzle of, I forget what you call the drizzle. Yeah, I'll think of it. It's a drizzle that you put on salads, but it is sprinkled on this lettuce. There's balls of mozzarella, blueberries, strawberries, with the drizzle. It's dark. Dark drizzle. Oops. There you go. Full screen on that. Marilyn decided to go down to the pool and float around. So this is the sonic impact of when a rocket launches. And you can see the the energy created by the engines and the impact of sound. This is a SpaceX Falcon 9 booster. Falcon 9 has 9 Merlin engines in a circle with, I think, one in the middle. Welcome to Florida. All right, I'm going to say goodbye because my housekeeper is going to be here in about 15 minutes and I got to go collect all the trash and do all that. So I wish you a fine afternoon. Have a nice lunch today. I'm going to give you some epidemic and I'm going to stop talking. Bye-bye.